The hardest thing in making this list was cutting it down to 10 movies. And the second hardest thing for this list was figuring out how many Kevin Costner movies end up on this list.
I tried not to even think about it. I just decided not to put any Kevin Costner movies on this list. No matter how much I love the guy. Also, the question also becomes how many football movies, how many basketball movies, and how many, did I say baseball?
Probably twice already.
Yeah. Baseball, basketball, and football movies you put on this list because there's a whole bunch of football and basketball and baseball movies, especially baseball. I think I watched more baseball movies in my life than anything else. So,
well, I'm a big fan of sports movies. Actually, just coming up with 10 of them.
Yeah, and then
pretty hard.
And then like and it's like how do you decide even to make? So it's like I decided to just do it the short way and just put movies that I really enjoyed watching. And looking now at this list, I see that I missed one movie, and I don't know why. I'm gonna have to change my list. I'm just not sure how.
What did you forget? Who did you forget?
Dude, I don't even want to say because it's so embarrassing.
Whisper it in my ear.
And because when you insert sports movie list into Google, it's the first movie that pops up. And it's just so embarrassing that I forgot it, since it's one of the movies. It's the reason why we wear Indiana Pacers jerseys, man. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't put it on the list.
I know why it's not on my list. Because it's not on my list either.
Dude,
I should have put it in. I wanted to put that, but here's the thing. I ended up making the list based on the movies that I actually like to watch.
I like to watch
as much as I like to watch Hoosiers, I probably... It's still hard to put it on the list.
Not for me. I just don't know.
I mean, I still could have kicked somebody out, but you know.
I'm looking at my dude. I don't know who that kick out now, man.
I mean, this list. So what
I know what I'm gonna do.
I didn't plan on actually doing any honorable mentions because there's still too many. Hoosiers can't make the honorable mentions list for it.
Should be. Dude, I'm gonna put it number 10. I don't care. I'm gonna put it on number 10, even though it should be a lot higher on my list. Dude, this is okay. This is one of those things we talked about when we were doing the animated movies, and
yeah, it's one of those. No matter what, 10 times you make up this list, 10 times it's gonna be different.
Cause I told myself Hoosiers has, but it's like, cause I was
I had it
for
on
some
my
reason
original list when I was cutting it
I don't
down.
know. Yeah, I don't know why it slipped. I don't know why.
He did not make the final cut. All right, you wanna start us off?
You know what? I'm gonna put it number 10. I'm gonna disregard Chariots of Fire simply because it's too long of a movie and it's too boring to watch sometimes, even though it's a great movie to watch.
Alright.
And it has a great score. I'm just gonna disregard Chariots of Fire and put Hoosiers instead of it at number 10. Because it's the first movie, it's the first basketball movie that I saw that actually was placed in Indiana. And for some reason when I saw it as a kid, I think it was like the first sentence, or it was in the first few sentences that was said in the movie is like, I came to Indiana, the home of the basketball, like state of basketball. And for some reason that always stuck in my mind. Even though I had no idea who Hoosiers were, and even though the team wasn't called Hoosiers, that was like the big part of the movie, but it was based on a true story, and as such it deserves to be on the list. And I love Gene Hackman. We talked about Gene Hackman so many times. I think that dude also deserves a top 10 list, but that's neither here nor there. And Hoosiers is one of those movies that actually forget about Coach Carter and forget about a few of these other movies that have this strict coach. This is high school, and this guy comes in. He's new in town. He's from out of state, and he comes into this small town in Indiana in the middle of the cornfield, and he's supposed to switch things around. and he's doing it, and he's trying to do it, and he's doing it, and local families, like, they don't like the way he's doing things, because even though their team is winning, they're not satisfied with how coach runs things, because he does it much differently than the previous coach. But his methods bring results, and because it's all based on true story, we know how things turn out eventually, and it's just a great story about triumph and perseverance and dedication, discipline, and just overcoming the odds. The scene when they come to the state championship game, right? When they come to Indianapolis, that scene when they come to that big arena, and for some reason, and it's bigger than the arenas that they're used to playing, and they think because there's more seats, they think for some reason the court is also bigger. But the coach brings out the measurement tape, and they measure the field, they measure the lines, and it's all the same, just more people fit inside. And it was just one of those scenes that it's always gonna stuck with me for some reason. So yeah, it's being afraid of the unknown and just overcoming the odds. So yeah, forget Chariots of Fire. I'm sorry. It's a
Who
great
wants to watch a movie about a guy who doesn't want to run on a Sunday anyways?
Saturday.
Saturday, sorry. Yeah, Saturday.
But no, the Chariots of Fire, not a great movie, but it's, for some, to me, the Hoosiers is more rewatchable. So
Alright, what's 9?
number 9 is a weird movie, because it's about a sport that I don't really enjoy, never really
Cricket.
liked. You're close, very close. Golf. It's the greatest game ever played. And it's also based loosely on true story as far as I know, but it was made back in the early 2000s, when for some reason movies about golf were very popular to make. So it was one of these movies that was really nicely done, told a great story, it was done in a great way, and really pulled you in and told you a great story that is loosely based on true events. And it was a great movie to watch, and I really enjoyed it. So it's like, it had to be on my list simply because of that. If anything, if I'm watching a movie about a sport I don't like, and it draws me in and makes me like the movie, I think it deserves to be on the list.
And LeBuff does a LeBuff job.
I love Shia, man. I love Shia.
He was good in that one.
And number 8 is another great sport that I have a bad memory of, but it's also based on true story, as most of these sports movies are, that are on my list at least.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that they are on the list too. So it's Invictus from 2008 with Morgan Freeman playing, what's his name, Nelson Mandela, and with Matt Damon playing one of the South African rugby players. Yeah, and just that movie, I don't know why, but I like rugby as a sport, but I have this bad memory from the Navy that really makes me dislike the sport, which I'm not gonna go into. But I love, anyways, it's a great movie. Tells a great story, draws you in, tells you more about the sport and the state of the South African Republic back in those days, and just tells a great story and pulls you in. And just like I said, for the greatest game ever played, I have a bad memory about this sport. I like the sport, but I don't watch it. So it's like any movie that can pull me in, tell me a great story, I think it deserves to be on the list.
All right.
And number 7, I have a movie that I watched multiple times. I'm probably gonna watch again. And I think when it comes to American football, I think this movie is a must-watch. I don't know why some people don't like it, but We Are Marshall is a movie that will stick in my head forever. So, yeah. Also based on true story, it's college football, and this airplane accident happens, and whole team dies with coach, and it's just a great tragedy. And suddenly the school is debating whether or not to drop out of the football championships, right? And so they decide to stick with it and bring in freshmen and sophomore players, which isn't really legal, so they had to get approval from the league. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I last seen this movie.
By the NCAA rules, the freshmen could not play the first year.
Yeah. So they
they get special permission from the
league because it was special circumstances. So they were allowed to do it, and I don't think they won only one game that season, if I remember correctly.
Something like that.
And it was just this great story about all these people coming together after this tragedy, and just coming in together as a community and rising above it and honoring the people who mean a lot to them. So, yeah. We Are Marshall, one of those movies. Obviously, details are scarce to me right now, but some things I'll never forget about the movie. So, yeah, had to be on the list. And at number 6, another great movie based on true stories, Glory Road. Going into basketball in 1966. This is college basketball, and this team from El Paso, West Texas University, if I remember correctly. I've seen this movie also a few times, but this was years ago. I haven't seen it in a few years, but it will always stick in my head because it's a movie that is about this team that brings in black players in the time when having black players on the team was really just an honorary.
In the time of this segregation.
That was just
so
honorary.
Have black players where people just started attending the white schools, much less playing.
Yeah, and they were pretty much just warming the bench. But the coach they bring in from he was coaching the high school female basketball team prior to that. So that was a whole thing about that. Like you were coaching female basketball teams, and now you're bringing in black players in a university in West Texas. He was a white coach. Was it Lucas? What's his name?
Yeah, Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas something.
John Lucas or something.
No, it was something else. But anyways, so it was Josh Lucas. But so it's just like this guy who you never thought would do something like this, but it's like he does this thing, and it's the first all black. Well, they have only one game where all the black players on the team are actually playing the whole game, and that's at the very end, and they end up winning the game. And I'm sorry if I'm spoiling for you. I really don't care. You should all watch this movie nonetheless, and it's just a great story to watch. So yeah, that's my 10-6, man.
Not bad, 10-6.
I think
For me, coming in at number 10 is a football movie called The Longest Yard. The original.
The original?
The original. Not the Adam Sandler version.
I actually didn't mind the Adam Sandler version. But it's been a while.
The original starring Burt Reynolds himself.
Yeah. It was great seeing him in the remake too.
What makes the...
Well deserved.
Yeah, the guy wanted to... Keep getting paid, man. Keep getting paid.
Hey, dude. If he knows how to do it... I like Burt Reynolds, man.
The first one sticks out a lot more than the second one.
I watched the remake first. So.
What makes the first one so damn good is the fact that Burt played quarterback in college football. Back in college, I can't remember exactly where, he played quarterback. So he got the actual, he's not tossing the ball.
Just to toss
he knows what he's doing. And just the whole premise of a game, the whole movie about inmates playing the guards in football in order for the guards to beat up on the players, only for the players to end up winning.
You know what? I don't think. Yeah, definitely. I'm sorry to ruin this for you, but you can't talk about The Longest Yard and the remake without mentioning the remake of a remake, so to speak, with the Mean Machine.
So moving on to number 9. He's Kevin Costner making his first appearance on this list. Yes, first appearance on the list. No, it's not.
Tin Cup?
No, it's not.
Is it Bull Durham?
Nope. You can go on and you will not guess which one.
Okay.
American Flyers.
Oh,
now for all of you who did not watch that movie, it's a cycling movie.
Wait. Oh, that was the Okay.
In the
Okay.
American Flyers,
I
Kevin
haven't seen that
Costner
one.
plays one of the two brothers. He has a brain aneurysm and he's getting ready to. He's training to enter a race to Rocky Mountains.
What year is this from? 80s?
85. Since he has a brain aneurysm, he brings his brother along. They start a team together. Anyways, it's a great story about brotherhood. About listen, I'm not into cycling, never was, but this movie,
Dude, I can't even drive a bicycle, so
American Flyers. If you did not watch it, watch it. It's a great movie, great performance all around by all the actors. So yeah,
number 8.
number 8 is The Natural.
Ooh, yeah.
The baseball makes the appearance. Robert Redford starts as The Natural. He's seemingly comes out of nowhere. He's old, but he can hit the baseball like a few others. And it's probably forever is gonna be mentioned as one of the greatest baseball movies.
Wait. Yeah. Why does it sound a lot like The Rookie?
Because
Is it the same thing?
no, it's different. Natural, he sticks around longer than
Then the...
yeah. Rookie's also on this list. That's
Oh,
important.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good.
Coming in,
I'm glad.
Coming in at number 7, Kevin Costner makes his second appearance on this
Is
list.
it US McFarland?
Nope.
McFarland USA?
No, it's
No.
For the Love of the Game.
Ah! Okay, that was my...
I recently rewatched it. I remember always liking that movie.
That's baseball too, right?
It's baseball.
If I remember correctly.
So Kevin Costner is he's 40-year-old or something like
Something like that, yeah.
that. Old, starting a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers.
Right.
The team is about to get sold. He steps onto. It's the last game of the season. He's playing against the Yankees.
He's pitching, right?
He's pitching. He's playing against the Yankees in this house that Root built. Basically, he's gonna get plumbered, but you know, and he ends up throwing a perfect game. But
Yeah.
as the movie progresses, you kind of see what led him there. You see his. It's a nice. It's a sports movie, even though it has a lot of romance elements to it. I don't care what you say. To me, it's still a sports movie. Still holds
Agreed.
up. I can still watch
Agreed.
it any day of the year. Like you're like, let's go watch For the Love of the Game. I'm in.
Agreed.
Coming in at number 6, Seabiscuit.
Ooh. Do you have Secretariat on the list?
No, I put Seabiscuit just because I prefer Seabiscuit to Secretariat.
Okay.
But it's a great story. You should know about Seabiscuit. Everybody should know about Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit, was he, if I remember correctly, he was like the smallest horse, or really
Yeah.
small, and that's why he was called the Seabiscuit.
He was
And
during
the
the
odds
Depression
against...
era. He was a racing horse. He was jockeyed by Tobey Maguire, who was too
Yeah,
big to be a jockey. He was owned by Jeff Bridges.
that's right.
An overall great movie. A great cast.
Jeff Bridges or Kurt Russell?
Jeff Bridges.
Okay. Why do I see Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell is
Was
the
seen something...
dreamer.
Yeah, that's right.
But overall, a great movie, great performance by everybody involved. It goes on for like more than 2 hours, but
It's worth the watch.
definitely worth
It's a
the
great
watch.
story, yeah, even though it's about a horse. What's your number 6?
That's number 6.
That's number 6.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to my number 5. It's a baseball movie. I've seen this movie only a few years ago, even though it came out more than that. It's The Perfect Game, and it's also based on true story. It's about these
It's a nice
Mexican
movie.
kids who have no hope for the future, especially playing baseball in Mexico, because they growing up in the slums. But for some reason, in some way, they find a way to go to USA and play the Little League.
The Little League.
Little League, and they end up playing in the finals, and it's just an overall a great story, another story of a triumph, perseverance, determination, and also discipline, among many other things. If you've never seen this movie, it's a recommendation from the Bash Bros, and
Definitely go see it.
definitely go watch it. At number 4, I have another great movie from Disney Studios, featuring starring Denzel Washington, and it's Remember the Titans. I think this movie could have easily been higher on my list, but for some reason I have more sentimental value towards some of the other movies that are on this list. But remember the Titans also. After the segregation just started, desegregation actually, and this school, I forgot where, they bring in black kids, and all of a sudden they have a mixed football team with white
they got
kids,
black coaches, white coaches, black kids, white kids.
and I don't know if they were one of the first or the first team that did this, but they had to overcome a lot of things, and not just racism, and for some reason once they kind of overcame the whole desegregation thing in their neighborhood, in their community, they saw how things worked outside of their town, outside of their state. I forgot, but it's a great story again.
Because while their community does embrace them, it's not the same when they go for the away games. The atmosphere is always different.
The odds are always stacked against them because white people listen, racism is what racism is. So
It's
overcoming
still an issue today. So
yeah, overcoming it, it's never easy. So this movie tells a great story about overcoming it, and it's based on true events that only makes this movie much more sweeter, much more better, and much more watchable in my opinion. So coming in my number 4 is Remember the Titans, and number 3, okay, this one goes, I think this one is also high on your list. If it's on the list, it should be on your list, and it's a Kurt Russell movie, Miracle.
it's a number 3.
It's number 3.
It's on my number 3, so we can talk about
We can
it
talk about it later.
Had to be on this list, man. Coming in for me at number 5 is, I'm not sure this movie is on your list, but it's another baseball staple, whatever you call it.
Is it The Sandlot?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Major League.
Okay, it's not on my list. I wanted
Here's
to
the
put
thing.
it, but as you see,
You gotta put, I was trying to find a reason not to put this movie on the list.
and you couldn't find the reason.
I couldn't find one.
You had to go with the heart.
I had to go Major League.
Dude,
It's probably the funniest, most spectacular, amazing baseball movie out there, or one of, at least when Tom Hanks isn't yelling, "There's no crying in baseball." But here's the thing, Major League had to be
it's
here.
a completely different movie.
I
but-
know. He had to be on here, man. It's funny, it's fun. I can watch it,
dude,
rewatch it.
we talked about Major League in our top 10 trilogies.
Yeah,
and
there's 3 of them. Or 2.5.
depending on how you look at it, I call
Yeah.
them 3. So
2 in the minor league.
yeah.
So, alright. My number 4 is probably nowhere on your list. Probably not even thought about putting this on your list.
If it's a boxing movie,
It's a boxing movie.
Yeah.
It's Cinderella Man.
dude,
2005 movie starring Russell Crowe.
one of the
It's
best
James
Russell Crowe.
Braddock,
Yeah, one of the best
who was
Russell
the
Crowe movies.
washed-up boxer, came out of nowhere in 1930s, and became a champion when nobody saw it, nobody expected it. But it's just an overall great story, not just about boxing, but growing up in 1930s.
29 is during the Great Depression, and just trying to feed his family.
See to see the whole, not just how he boxed, but how he lived. And Russell puts in I know Gladiator is always going to be his staple performance, but Cinderella Man came pretty close.
I would say Cinderella Man is a better movie simply because the performance had to be more realistic, and it is based on actual events. So
Yeah,
to me,
it's a true story.
Cinderella Man would top the Gladiator, but
And
because
it's-
it's a boxing movie, to me Gladiator will
And
always
it's
top
the
it.
first appearance of Russell Crowe on this list. Yes? First appearance of Russell Crowe.
Okay.
And coming in number 3 is
is
the
the
Miracle.
Miracle. Listen,
Which you can't really... Listen, you can't make this list without putting Miracle on there.
agreed. And
1980s U.S. Olympic hockey team
yeah,
came out of nowhere. Young Bucks, if you would, go all the way to the finals. Actually defeated
It's-
the SSSR.
yeah, and it's actually a movie that probably won the Cold War much more than Rocky IV did, and yeah, the
It's the
Miracle
story
is a
of
great
Kurt
movie.
Brooks, the former player turned coach, and listen, you get chills when you watch this movie. That's all
I
I'm gonna
agree.
say.
Yeah, definitely. If you
And
never
it's-
saw the Miracle, you should. It's a hockey movie,
yeah, but
but it's
it's a
definitely
true. It's based on a true story from start to finish.
and Kurt Russell in it doing a great job, and just
The whole
movie,
cast
definitely,
is great.
definitely.
Definitely something you need to watch.
Okay, on my number 2 is Cool Runnings.
You know, I tried to put it on my list, but I couldn't find somebody
Well-
to kick off just to put it
Well,
on.
you could have put it instead of Major League, but whatever, man. It's okay. I'm not blaming you for that one. It's like, listen, you put in there, you put bunch of you put in there the Kevin Costner, and you put a bunch of movies there that I wanted to. You put Major League there, so it's like I think we even out because Cool Runnings. To me, it's one of those movies that is ultimately rewatchable. Again, based on true stories about this bobsled team from Jamaica, where there is no ice whatsoever, and the late great John Candy doing a great job
As the coach.
as the coach of the team, and Sanka doing his thing, and Jamaica having a bobsled team. Dude, the last.
If you did not watch that movie, go stop watching this. Just go watch.
Go
the movie.
watch it. That last scene, man, always gives me the chills, man. Always brings tears to my eyes, man. If you're a guy and you're not crying at the end of this movie, you have no soul. You're a robot, okay? So that's all I'm gonna say about that. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the.
Because I know it's not my number 1.
I have no idea what your number 1
It's not on your list, trust me.
Okay. So number 2 is Mystery Alaska.
When you said first Russell Crowe movie, I knew
The
Mystery
second
Alaska.
Russell Crowe movie to make this list. It's about a hockey team in a small city in Alaska, and basically,
Mystery Alaska. That's the name
here's
of
the
town.
thing. So, citizens of Mystery hold a weekly hockey game. And somehow, I can't remember exactly what happened, but they got chosen. They got the whole event, their game got scheduled, televised, and basically on Sports Illustrated or something like that.
Because they
And
play in the
basically-
pond.
And basically, they get to bring the New
York
York Rangers come in for a hockey game.
On the pond,
On the pond, the end score ends up being 5-4 for the Rangers, I think.
Rangers won that game.
But overall, like, if this was a true story,
I think it is.
it's not.
It is.
No,
Yes, it is.
no, it's not. Trust
To me, it is.
Had this been a true story, definitely be number 1. Although I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure my number 1 isn't a true story either. But these two are
You're talking about
so.
Field of Dreams. I can assure you, if you build it, they will come.
But listen, if you do not enjoy watching hockey, I don't, go watch Miracle, go watch Mystery Alaska. You'll change your mind.
Agreed. Agreed 100%.
You're number 1.
Okay, you're not gonna see this one. Well, you should be seeing this one coming, but people out there who don't
Okay,
know,
it's number 1.
Angels in the Outfield from 1994 with Christopher
Glover.
Lloyd and JGL and Danny Glover, man. The great, I only realized this recently that it was young Joseph Gordon-Levitt because his face always looked familiar. I never could place it until a few years back. I watched Angels in the Outfield again and I realized it's JGL in his young days. And to me, this movie is just overall perfect because it brings the magic about sports and just brings in heaven down on earth. And seeing Emmett Brown as an angel is pretty cool in and of itself. And Danny Glover, he's pretty much playing his usual roles with yelling and screaming, and it's just a fun movie. And watching it is always fun, ultimately rewatchable. I've been loving this movie since early 90s when I first saw it, so it had to be on my list, and it's definitely my top favorite sports movie of all time. If there is a sports movie that I can watch over and again, it's Angels in the Outfield, man. And the scores, talking about the scores, says a great score too, so
Does, and that. Okay. Well, my number 1 is the baseball movie starring the Jim Morris, who is the 39-year-old teacher who had pitching aspirations, but he got injured.
the rookie. The rookie?
The rookie with Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
I remember first time I watched this, somebody lent the VHS tape to us, and my eyes were like this big, man. And then I remember when I rewatched it later on, a couple of years later, my eyes were still this big when I watched it. And then I watched it again and again, and my eyes were always this big when I watched it because it's just a fantastic sports movie. I mean, he have a guy old, definitely, but he's 39.
He's
He's
in late
39
30s,
years
early
old. He has
40s.
three kids, and he gets there by his kids, he's also baseball coach for the local school.
Yeah.
That he teaches in. He gets there to go to a tryout for a Tampa Bay Devil Rays or something like that.
Yeah, minor league.
And basically, he shows up, starts throwing 90 miles an hour fastballs, and he gets a contract to show up to play for the. Not only does he end up playing in the minor league, but he gets called up to majors as well.
Yeah.
An overall sports movie that just.
It's based on a true story, as far as I know.
I'm not sure.
As far as I know, man. I don't know.
I think it's not. But here's the thing. No matter how many times I make this list, no matter how many movies are changing, this one's number one.
Always.
Always. I like it that much. And every time I watch it, my eyes go this big for a reason.
Okay.
And you get emotional, you get all the feelings, all of them. Watching this one.
Agreed, man. Agreed.
My number one for a reason.
Dude, I'm not blaming you one bit. It's a great movie, and all of your picks. I'm actually like I like your
like
list
we
too.
said, here's the thing. I mean, we make this list 5 minutes from now, it's a different list. But some of these movies will
dude, you
still
seen
be
it
on
at the
here.
beginning when you mentioned Hoosiers, man. I was like, dude, why didn't I put Hoosiers on the list? So yeah.
That's it from us. This is our top 10 sports movie list, and we'll be coming back with more stuff, more videos, and
Yeah, until next time, like,
Yeah.
subscribe, share, let us know what you didn't like about our list, give us your own. So yeah, until next time, Bash Bros out.